Welcome to Safari India's exclusive interview with Dr. Vikram Kamat, founder and chairman of the Vits Kamats Group. Welcome, Mr. Kamat.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Now let's start with the obvious question. How do you see the potential of growth in Ayodhya? And could you detail out your 5-year Ayodhya plan for the Vits Hotel and also for your other brands like Kamats Legacy, Pepper Fry, Va Malwan and Urban Dhaba?
It's been a very exciting time. Obviously, Ayodhya is the very, very hot upcoming destination. We already have one hotel effectively in UP through our hotel in Noida. And because of that, we have been getting numerous requests in various cities. Ayodhya obviously being the very, very hot destination with the opening of the Ram Janmabhoomi temple, and of course being the birthplace of Lord Ram, and so many other happenings that have happened there, along with the entire film city planned nearby and so many other things. That is a hot destination that we are very actively and aggressively looking at opening in the coming months. At the present moment, only discussions are on for a Vits. We haven't signed anything yet, but I'm sure we will, because everybody has to be in Ayodhya. After Mumbai and Delhi and possibly the 4 metros, Ayodhya is the next place where you must be for sure.
Absolutely, sir. And also, sir, what about your other like Kamats Legacy, and how do you plan to go forward?
So Kamats Legacy has been our, so obviously, at Kamats, we are known as the food people. Our brand Vits stands very strongly for food-centric, F&B-centric hotels in the 4-star space. And we have been doing exceedingly well because we have a monopoly position, we have a unique leadership position, because nobody else in the 4-star space is focusing on this. In the 5-star space also, ITC is the only one that has this position. We are the only one in the 4-star space and mid-market space that has that. So our banquets, restaurants do exceedingly well, and we fit in our brands like Kamats Legacy, Urban Dhaba into that depending on the particular market. Already our temple town hotels like Somnath, Dwarka, Nasik and all these other places are doing very well. We believe that Ayodhya will be not just Ayodhya, but entire UP has a huge potential for all of our brands. And we are looking at actively expanding our restaurant chain, because South Indian food and premium South Indian food, in which space Kamats Legacy is a huge vacuum in the north. There were a few other brands that were there for some time, but they have not done very well or not expanded well, or they had certain issue with their investors. So that has created a vacuum. And even without that vacuum, there was so much potential in general. We are hoping to fulfill that gap in the coming months very soon.
So do you have any, other than Ayodhya, do you have any plans for Lakshadweep as well?
Unfortunately, at the present, Lakshadweep is not something that we have any ongoing discussions. Lakshadweep is a very, I wouldn't say closed market, but it's a very regulated market is the right word, I would say, because Lakshadweep being not only just about the Union Territory, but the size itself of Lakshadweep being restricted. Most of the accommodation, either what was originally there can be there, or whatever will come out now in the government tenders, only that will be really viable to develop. So we will wait as the government is very actively looking at developing Lakshadweep, Andaman Nicobar, and all the actual jewels that India has, which we always had in our suitcase, but they were not really taken out and burnished. Now they are being removed, burnished, chamfered, cleaned, and being presented for all the world to see, and that's going to create a lot of interest, as you've already seen.
Before we move ahead, Mr. Kamat, we would really request you to announce at least 2 new projects first on Safari India.
So I'm very happy to inform the subscribers of Safari and for all your viewers, not just 2 projects, but 3 projects that we are doing, which is Kamats Legacy will be opening at Vashi, Borivali, both are in Bombay, and of course in Pune, parallel to FC Road, the famous Fergusson College Road in Model Colony. So that will take the total count of Legacy to over 5. And we will continue expanding this brand because it has been doing exceedingly well in the pure vegetarian, premium South Indian space. I'm very proud to say that being true to South Indian food, uniquely, we do not have any North Indian items. which you normally associate with a restaurant that, oh, thoda to North Indian रहेगा. And yeah, in fact, we do not even have tea in our menu. We only serve filter coffee. We do not serve even normal ready-made coffee. We serve only authentic filtered coffee. So we are very proud that we are the leaders again in South Indian. Kamats has been there for over 80 years. We are very proud of Kamats. And with Kamats Legacy, our pride is even more.
Thank you, and that's really right. Kamat Legacy is like it's for going for very long, and and it's great. And thank you so much for breaking the news on our platform. And now moving forward, could you elaborate your brand-wise pipeline for the next 5 years?
So primarily our principal thrust is on Kamat's Legacy. We have many Kamats that we will continue to open. Kamats, of course, is our mass brand. People do tend to ask us what is the difference between Kamats and Kamat's Legacy. Kamat's Legacy is more higher in terms of pricing. The interiors are much richer. The items available, like I told you, are much more completely focused on authentic South Indian. Whereas obviously Kamats is a more fast food type of a restaurant. Again, family restaurant, pure vegetarian, but has a much wider menu. In terms of the South Indian items also, it has the core South Indian items, not the exclusive South Indian items that Kamats Legacy has. And Kamats will also keep growing. At present, we have 32 Kamats, which are there across Maharashtra and Gujarat. In that, we would grow about 2 to 3 Kamats every year. We will be growing other than these outlets, which I told you, for which will be coming in the next 4 months. We anticipate for the rest of the year, we anticipate another 3 Kamats Legacies that will be coming up. And Urban Dhaba will be having about 2 more, which will be added to the existing 3. And Vits, there are 9 in the pipeline. For Vits, we presently have 21 operational Vits hotels. There should be another 9, which should be opening in the next 12 months. 3 of which should be opening in the next 3 months, which is also kind of exclusive, I guess, for your channel, which would be opening at Divyagar and Karad. These would be opening in the next 3 months.
Great. Many congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And do you have any overseas plans that you'd like to share, like new tourism hotspot, like in Middle East or beyond Asia?
So we had hotels in Thailand. They were doing quite well. They were leased hotels. We are primarily operating managed and lease format. We obviously own, I own a few hotels which are given on lease to the management company. And these were doing well. Unfortunately, COVID hit us and the leases, and we had to give up the leases because there was no clarity on when international travel would be there. And I'm quite glad we did, because it nearly took a year and a half for international travel to come up. Thailand market is highly dependent on 2 major tourists, which is Chinese and Indians. Indians were still allowed after a while, but Chinese were still not allowed. So in hindsight, it was it was totally bad. So in hindsight, it was a good thing. We hope that we will get back to the Southeast Asian markets and markets like Dubai very soon. Again, our brand is driven like any other Indian brand. Primarily, our recognition is among Indian customers. So where Indians travel the most, like the Gulf and Southeast Asia, is where we would naturally first progress, and then from there, again, take it ahead.
Great, sir. Sir, spiritual and religious tourism mainstay for domestic tourism. How do you plan out this space?
Because of our brand Kamats, our brand Vits is having also tremendous pull in the religious tourism circuit. Places like Ujjain, we have got a lot of inquiry. We are closing something very soon in Indore, Ujjain sector. Ocha, which is also in Madhya Pradesh. We also had in Ambaji, which is again a very big temple town in north of Gujarat on the border of Rajasthan. So what happens in most of these temple towns, unfortunately, traditionally, the areas around have been developed by the local people, and excellent food or restaurants for dining or social infrastructure like clean washrooms are not normally usually there. So that's where there's such a big opportunity for Kamats, because the food is well known. The food is something that people love. You can eat at any time of the day. It's very light. People like to eat light when they're traveling, especially for the fear of falling sick or ill. Or also they want to move. It's easier to move about. So that has been a big draw for us, and we're going to continue seeing a lot of traction because of that.
Ecotourism is a new buzzword. Are you planning a new property around ecotourism in India?
So we've been doing eco for so long, having worked with my dad for so many years. He's the pioneer of Orchid and the entire eco-friendly movement, not just in India, but with Orchid, we were the first in entire Asia to have the five-star Globe Hotel. So that's something that comes naturally to us. It's probably first nature is idli dosa vada for me. Then second nature is to do it environmentally sensitive, to do it all in an environmentally sensitive way. So that comes second nature to me. So I think we've already been doing it. Would we build a specific brand around eco? I think uh, there are, eco has become, or eco-friendly has become, to a large extent, something like a lift in a property or air conditioning in a hotel. It's a must have now. You can't say, oh, I'm going to keep plastic, I'm going to give you plastic bag, because most of the government regulations are around. I mean, STP is common. Most of the pioneering efforts which were pioneering 20 years ago today are mandated by law. Glass bottles, avoiding plastic bottles. These are things which, even if the government, in some states, government has banned it, and in other states where government has not banned it, the customers themselves are more conscious. So I think it has become a norm. How much more eco-friendly you can become is a matter to be seen. To answer your question, would we build a brand around it? Um, I'm not so sure. Does that mean no? I don't know. Maybe in our next interview, I'll have the next exclusive for you that now we're launching an eco brand.
Absolutely.
But for the present moment, no, we're just focusing on Vits and Kamats, and of course, Kamats Legacy.
So, is your group open to acquisitions, or do you prefer greenfield projects? And are there any acquisitions on the anvil?
Um, we are very open to acquisitions. We have a very cash-rich balance sheet. We are a listed company under our company, Vidli Restaurants Limited, which houses all our Kamats restaurants, Kamats, Mitchell Kamats restaurants, and of course, as a subsidiary, houses the Vits through Vitizen Hotels Limited. That is the the corporate entity which has the brand Vits. So we are cash rich. We have been profitable from day one before of our listing, and profitable even before that, including during COVID. I'm very proud that we were profitable even during COVID. And that is all because of our conservative approach, systematic approach. We have perhaps not the largest numbers when it comes to the number of hotels, or even when it comes to the number of restaurants. But I'm very proud that the number of hotels that we have all are doing exceedingly well. Our owners are exceedingly happy. That's why we are able to make a profit, because they are making a profit. We have our own academy through Kamat Hospitality Academy of Skill, where we have more than 150 students in India's first and only earn and learn program for hospitality. You get a 7,000 rupees stipend for learning, for being part of hospitality.
So, what are your current ARR and ADRs, and what is your target for the next two in short and long term? Is there a leg room for any competitive environment?
I will tell you honestly. I have just been back from Goa in January for both work, and then obviously you cannot go to Goa and not mix it with pleasure. And unfortunately, Goa has become frightfully expensive. The taxi driver who we know for so long, local guy, we normally use him whenever we go. And so all saying that, this year Goa was very bad. And there are very press reports that both have come out that Goa was very bad. So I think just playing this whole game of let's boost the ARRs. If you remember 20 years ago, Bangalore went through this crisis where, there was no room available in Bangalore, and Bangalore rooms used to be 25,000, 30,000 for a standard room. Then Pune went through that at some point in time. I think when a destination becomes exceedingly expensive, you lose entire business en masse. And I think Goa is facing that, because that's why people are rushing to Thailand, people are going to Vietnam, people are going to every other destination like Sri Lanka. Within India, they're going to different places, and Goa is losing out. I know many Goans who are very happy by the way. They're like, in Konkani, they are saying, Bare zale gardi kam zale, which means that, it's very good that the rush is less because now we can sleep again peacefully without all the jing bang and the noise. But the point is that this ARR, we don't play the ARR game as a company. If you ask me our individual ARRs, I really have no idea across all our 20, 21 hotels what is our ARR. But broadly, I can tell you from a strategy perspective, since our budgets are also coming up, that most of our hotels have been doing very high occupancy because we are primarily in the sub 100 room category. All our hotels, nearly all our hotels, few hotels are 100 plus, two hotels are 100 plus, but majority of the hotels are between 60 and 80 rooms. And some hotels are as small as 35, 40 rooms. Because we consider those hotels as restaurants with rooms rather than a hotel with a restaurant. And that's why we are able to turn those also profitable. And what we are primarily trying to see is like, these hotels, these smaller hotels which are near the station and in the city center, they already do 100%. Now, is there a scope to increase a lot of the AR? Not really. Maybe 3-5% here and there. But you're already doing 100%. Our hotel in Aurangabad, our hotel in Surat and all, they're all doing 100% in that space. So below 50, 60 rooms, already the occupancies are so high that is little difficult to increase your occupancies more or expand your ARR very abruptly. So I think we will be at a similar ARR to last year, give or take. Certain markets may have potential, or certain hotels which just opened last year or will open recently. Maybe there we have a scope to increase the ARR. But overall, I don't think we'll be increasing our ARRs too much. I think where we are perhaps got more scope for occupancy, we'll try and push that. RevPAR is most important for us. That's what all hotels claim, but I think we take it more seriously than others.
So, what kind of growth in terms of percentage you envisage for the growth, like let's say for the next 5 years, and where does this growth come from? Like, how do you plan your, basically tap tier 2 and tier 3 cities? How do you plan to do that?
I can confidently say that as a company, we can definitely easily do 15 to 20% growth year on year very comfortably. The last 3 years, some of the years we've done 50% growth, 50. Of course, that was coming off from a smaller base. And even if you don't take the effect of COVID, pre-COVID to us also, we've grown a huge amount. Primarily through more number of units, primarily through more number of leased hotels. So leased hotels also has given us that boost because the turnover and the profit both comes to the corporate. Whereas in management hotels, you're getting a very thin slice of. Just like that, I would like to say that here also our main growth will come from new addition of new hotels, new addition of new restaurants. All these Kamats Legacies are company owned, operated. So their top line and bottom line will also add to the company. As I said, we are well capitalized. One is we are profitable, so there's no need for raising any new capital other than for growth. We are not funding any losses or anything like that. So the primary growth is going to come from leased hotels, leased restaurants, owned hotels. We also own some of our own restaurants, and like we have restaurants in Pando, Nahor. We are looking at other places within Mumbai to purchase more real estate for restaurants. So we all also looking at acquiring other South Indian chains. We have been approached by some. We are open to acquiring because typically what happens in South Indian chains is हर एक city में किसी ने 6 बनाए, किसी ने 4 बनाए. Somebody has made 8 or 10 and he has had to stop. He may not have been able to grow. So they are looking at exit. We are open to acquiring them also. So there would be a number of ways of this whole thing growing.
Right, sir. So, and how do you intend to fund these expansion plans?
As I told you, we have got very strong internal accruals. We are a profit-making company. We have strong internal accruals and cash flow. We also have recently raised a preferential fund with over 10 crore, which has already come in. So we have got adequate capital. This 10 crore plus our annual profit is also there. Our annual cash flows are also there. We have certain other means which we can also look at if and when required. Right now, we are effectively debt-free, but if and when needed, lines of credit are easily accessible to us. So that easily we have another big chunk over there. So we are lucky that unlike others, we are spoiled for choice.
So suppose Tatas and Oberois, give you an offer to buy in. What would be your reaction? How would you react to it?
I'd say, sure, why not? What's the harm? There's no harm in listening, and if it's a good deal and it makes sense, there's nothing wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with being associated with Taj Oberoi. I don't think Taj Oberoi would see anything wrong in being associated with us. They'd probably be happy because we are pioneers and leaders in the four-star space. They have no such. Uh, we are the Taj and Oberoi of our space. So I'm sure that it would be a marriage of equals. And if it's a good deal, why not? We definitely consider it.
Absolutely, sir. So lastly, what 5 hospitality industry boosters you would like to see in the budget?
I think the one I won't say 5. I'll just say one thing which is going to do the effect of 5 things. Okay, which is they must introduce. I mean, there are many things that I can tell you, but all other complaints or requests sound feeble in front of the one industry game changing thing that they can do, and which is the introduction of GST on restaurants, on the food business. Today, it is highly complicated because hotels are being affected by this. All hotels which are in 5-star, they are charging 18% GST on the food, which is ridiculous. Okay, because it's driving away customers. Because on other restaurants, they're paying 5%, but without input credit. There is no logic why you paying in a 5-star hotel, paying already 1,500 rupees or 1,200 rupees or whatever you're paying for the buffet. You're going to be 18% on that. Okay, and you as a consumer, if you're a corporate, you may get input credit. But why is this benefit being given to 5-star hotels? Why this injustice that 5-star hotels can get GST, but a layman or a corporate who is sending his sales officer or his junior executive to an ordinary restaurant, he is not getting input credit. He is having to pay that from his pocket. Secondly, F&B business is not just about hotels and restaurants. F&B business is being served 30,000 square feet in the air also. Today, when Indigo is serving you on the air, or in some cases now recently I saw on the tarmac, wherever they are serving you food, if they are charging you, you are paying GST, rightly or wrongly, and you are not getting input credit. So this is absolutely wrong. I think this can be game changer. On a separate note of Indigo, I read that Indigo is selling more food and beverages, more F&B sale than even Barbecue Nation. And this is actually said both companies are listed. And Indigo earns more profit from food division than what Domino's is earning. Domino's is earning some 300 crore. These guys are earning 400 crore. Now, that entire such big volume business is there, which is a big loss for the government because the big hoteliers and restaurateurs are being penalized and the small restaurateurs are still doing business in cash because anyway they're not getting GST input credit. So the government's objective is defeated. The hotel and restaurant business, the restaurant business alone is paying more GST and VAT, not VAT on liquor, but GST than even the IT companies. And this is a recorded factual thing where the IT companies are getting some 3.5 or 4,000 crore odd. We were doing 5,500 crore. So there's a big gap. And this is only what is official. Imagine how much if under this tax net if they can get more restaurateurs because of it. Individual standalone restaurateurs because of the input credit part. Because today on rental, you don't get the input credit. So owners also say, mujhe cash mein de do. So this can be avoided. This is penalizing all the professional restaurateurs like us, like the pizza chains, like the burger chains, and everybody is a professionalized restaurateur. The malls are charging you the 18%, but you are not getting the input credit. So I think this one thing can be a game changer for the government. So I would say the first thing that they should do is get the input tax credit on restaurants.
Yeah, that is important. Also, how you explain,
It's important for everybody. Yeah. It's important for every single establishment, including the corporate canteen. The cafe coffee day inside a corporate canteen, giving them tea and coffee on a chargeable basis, also charging the GST. For which there no input. So this is not just about the F&B or the hospitality business. This is about food is being served everywhere. And it's a huge loss for the government. So because that canteen guy in some corporate is trying to do business in cash because he's also not getting input credit. The purpose of GST or what is called cascading taxation is that if the previous guy doesn't pay, then you pay. So you put pressure on the next guy. So it's a link like that. So so it's cascading because everybody's making sure that the previous guy paid the taxes. So that effect is not there. So I think that's the single most thing, not just for our industry, but I think for F&B business as a whole, this can be the game changer for the government and for the industry both.
Absolutely. So this would be if this is implemented, this would be a game changer for everyone. Everyone and under one umbrella would be there. And it will
Correct. And uniformity.
Absolutely, sir. And so a few words for Safari India.
Well, I must say I'm very happy. I've known Safari, the Safari Group for a very long time, with Mr. Ahluwalia, and I've had some great memories with him in ITB, and of course now with Samir taking over, I'm sure that he will do an even more fantastic job, because originally the group started from nothing and was brought here, and now with this already good platform, I'm sure that you all will all as a team take it even more ahead, and I'm very excited to see Safari 2.0 version under this new leadership.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kamat, for sharing your valuable insights with us today. Stay tuned for more such enriching conversation with Safari India. Thank you.